Hello, welcome to ChesSA. So far the game has been like this. I played e4, e6 by black, d4, and now d6. By the way, this is called as French defense, and the main move here is d5, but in the game we have d6, a bit passive. It blocks this bishop. Let's bring our knight. Knight c6. Okay, no problem. We can play bishop b5, pinning the knight. We can also put it on c4. Both moves are completely fine. You can even play knight c3. Okay, no issue. Let's play bishop to c4. g6. So probably he wants to play bishop g7 and fianchetto his bishop. We can castle and um, yes, we can play knight c3. We can also do this. If he fianchettos his bishop, if he fianchettos his bishop, instead of playing knight c3, we can play c3 so that this bishop is blunt by these pawns, by this pawn chain. So that's my idea. So I'll wait for his move. Let's see what he plays. He can play other move as well apart from this. But yeah. Okay, good. So now we have got a clear direction as to what we want to do, right? Now we are not gonna play knight c3. We'll simply play c3. See, knight c3 is also good move. Okay, not a bad move. But this is just an alternative. Okay, now tell me, with this move, which square, or make it even simpler, which piece of black has become weaker? Ready? Yes. Earlier, this knight was protected by this pawn, but now the pawn doesn't protect the knight, and the knight is loose, right? Can we get advantage of this weakness? I hope you found this move, bishop to b5 or queen a4. Now which move to play? The purpose is very simple. We want to pin the knight to the king, okay? And that also attacks the knight, obviously. So he has to play something like bishop b7. Then we'll bring another piece, means if we bring bishop, then we'll bring queen. And if he brings his queen to further protect the knight, then we can play. Can you tell me? That's right. We'll push this pawn further, and now that knight is a goner. Okay. Um, so bishop b5 or queen a4. Ready? I guess either move is fine. Okay. I'll start with the piece that is of smaller value. Bishop b5. He has to defend. Okay, bishop d7. So this is actually worse because now I simply play queen a4 and now your queen can't protect the knight. Instead, he could have, if he had played bishop b7, then he could have played queen d7. That still doesn't really help because of d5. Okay, knight takes d4. We can simply grab this knight with pawn or with knight, or we can capture this bishop first. Either move is fine. Okay, and by the way, please note bishop takes bishop is a check. Okay, why that is important is because if that had not been a check, black could have played knight takes f3 with check. We would have to recapture, and then black would have also been able to recapture a bishop. But since this is a check, he doesn't have time to capture this, which means that we'll be able to win this knight here for free. Okay, we'll just trade, and we are happy to trade because we'll be ahead in material. if you are ahead in material or if you are going to get ahead in material, you should try to exchange as many pieces as possible, go to endgame and win with your extra piece. Knight f6, attacking this pawn. So knight c3, developing the knight as well as defending it. Then we'll bring the bishop out and put rook on this open file or these central files. Simple. Okay, maybe trying to do some tricky stuff here, but no problem. We can play bishop e3. There are many moves actually. Bishop e3, bishop f4, bishop g5. Bishop g5 is a good option actually, because now that bishop can't be kicked by h pawn since the h pawn is here, right? However, this bishop on g5 won't pin the knight to anything, right? So bishop g5 doesn't have the same venom. We can play bishop e3, protecting the pawn further. Okay, now we will play h3 and prevent this pawn from pushing further. Let's do it. Also now back rank problem has been solved. Our king has escaping square. He just played g5. Can we capture it? Yes, we can, and it's free. We can take it with knight, we can take with bishop. Either move is fine. Okay. I don't think so there is any significant distinction as such. The added benefit of knight takes is that knight attacks this free pawn. So let's do it. We can even play something like f4, f5 if we want to. We are ahead in material, so we don't need to do any crazy stuff as such. So keep that in mind. Our next goal, next target, will most likely be to bring the rooks into the game. And see how we are not rushing with any pawn move. Because we don't really need to force the stuff. Okay? We'll just bring the pieces together, attack something, and that will be enough. We are already extra piece up, so that will count, that will matter. Okay, so the king is now supporting the pawn, but now this pawn is left unsupported, right? So we can play this move knight b5. uh, we can play this. The thing is we are making these forward moves, but they won't really result in anything significant as such. So however, knight b5 almost forces him to play c5, okay, or c6. Either way, it's fine, but okay, let's first bring the rook. Okay, this is not really a pin as such. The knight is well protected, and we can. That's not the main point actually. The bishop is protected, so we can just move the knight and we'll be fine. Okay. Now let's play. Wait. We can even play f4. Although he'll soon bring his rook. And I need to ensure that this pawn doesn't fall. Because if it does, this will be a big weakness after f takes e3. So I'll probably just play f4 if he brings the rook. So let's create a threat of our own. I'll play a bit faster. I'm low on time and there is no increment. So now I won't explain much. attacking the pawn twice, rook and knight. So he has to push, not even c6 actually, because now just rook takes c6. And now there is another threat like this. Also, I can double the rooks if he brings the king to attack my rook. I can also give check in that case, but yeah. Okay, let's bring our rook. I'll pre-move. We could have also captured this knight. We could have also captured this pawn. I guess this was mouse slip. I guess he wanted to capture here, but fine. Okay. Okay, let's take it. And then we'll double the rooks on the seventh file. Okay, expected. I can move my knight. I will move. Oh, now this knight will also be captured. Oops, I just missed that. Uh, I'm going to lose an exchange. But anyways, I'm just a piece up, so that doesn't really matter much. This king can't come inside. I should have played this to prevent this king from coming here, but okay. And now see, this is not a stalemate because he can play this move, and that's what I'm going to do. He'll have to play this move, and then I will give him check with my knight, and that will be mate. This is not a stalemate, my mate. Right? And this is checkmate. Let's quickly analyze this game. E4, E6, D4, D6, Knight F3, Knight C6, Bishop C4, G6, Castle, Bishop G7, and we played C3, building this pawn chain to blunt this fianchetto. B6, he wanted to fianchetto another bishop actually, probably, but that weakened his knight a lot. And Bishop B5 is a good move, okay, and not Queen A4, although it's fine actually. Both moves are fine, okay, but during the game I thought that I will win this knight. I will win a piece, definitely. But no, that's not the case. This position, believe it or not, is completely equal. And the simple reason is that bishop b5, and now bishop d7 unpins this knight. Currently, this knight can't move because that will be a check, right? But after bishop d7, now this knight is no more pinned, okay? It can freely move anywhere it want to. Now there is bishop blocking the bishop's path, right? So that's one point. And second point is that this knight can always join the party, right? This knight can come to e7 to support his teammate. So bishop d7 solved the problem for black. Queen a4, and now here what he had to do is just play knight g e7, or you can even move this knight because this bishop is well protected, okay, and there is no threat. The queen and king are supporting. That's completely fine. Knight is also supporting. Knight b8, knight c e7, these moves are also fine. Knight g e7 makes more sense because you are developing a piece. But in the game we have this move, and obviously now from here onwards I just become a piece up, trade the queens, and then slowly. By the way, I missed it that we lose an exchange. But yeah, we were simply up two pieces. So, anyways, I would have captured here. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it and learned something, do like the video and share it with your chess friends. I'll keep making videos like this where I explain my thought process while I play so that you can see how to actually apply theoretical concepts like pin or putting pressure on the pinned piece like this. Although I made a mistake in my analysis and thought that it's winning, but it's actually not. So you'll also see me making mistakes. Uh, that's part of the game, that's part of life. That's it for this video. If you have any doubts or suggestions, do let me know in the comments below. Signing off.